A new year in Disney World means new rules. Here are tips you need for 2026. Stay refreshing.
Lightning Lane looks sold out. You open the app, everything's gray, and it feels like the day is locked. But if you've watched All Ears for more than 5 minutes, you already know that isn't true. We spend an embarrassing amount of our lives refreshing this thing in the parks, and we see reservations come back all day long. This tip is about when to push. That's right. Hit your finger on the little button on your phone screen. Here's the rule. When a ride you want is gone, you start refreshing around 2 specific minutes every hour on the 15 and the 45. And you do not just tap once and give up. You sit on it for a couple minutes. You keep pulling down. You give the system a chance to breathe. These drops do not hit like the old virtual queues that you could set your clock to. You cannot slam a button at exactly 7 a.m. and call it done. Lightning Lane reloads drift by up to a minute, 2 minutes, even 5 minutes. They feel like someone's loading them manually. Someone backstage pushes inventory into the system, and it does not always land at the exact same second every day. That's why you camp the window, not the timestamp. We didn't pull that out of thin air. Quincy has been watching this in real time in the parks. We hammer this system constantly when we film, and there is enough publicly visible data on return time patterns that it's fair to say this works. Not as a promise, as a pattern. Most headliners will follow this rhythm at least some of the time. You'll see new times for things like Frozen, Remy, Space, Jungle Cruise, Tower, Smuggler's Run, Na'vi, Everest, even Test Track. They are not guaranteed to reload every single hour, but when they do, those 15 and 45 windows are where we catch a ridiculous amount of them. But not every ride behaves exactly the same way, and this is where some people might get tripped up. Some rides match the timing pattern, but not the frequency. Others match the frequency, but not the minute mark precision. And then there's the one ride that checks every unpredictable box at once, Slinky Dog Dash. Slinky drops more often and in a way that feels a lot less predictable. It doesn't follow clean pulses. It doesn't land on consistent minutes. Sometimes it hits near 15 or 45, sometimes it doesn't hit either of them, and sometimes it fires when nothing else is moving at the same time around the parks. It fits enough of the qualifiers you see in other refilling rides to tease you, but it never fits all of them at the same time. That's why it lives in its own category. So if Slinky Dog is the ride you still need and you missed it in your original Lightning Lane plan, the move is simple. You refresh whenever you have a spare minute. In line, at lunch, walking across the park, you are fishing for any scrap the system throws out. So here's your plan for 2026. For almost everything, live at 15 after and 45 after and keep refreshing for a couple of minutes each time. For Slinky Dog Dash, you refresh all day until you get it or you give up. That's not being obsessive. That's how you pry open a system that's designed to look closed.
We've also found that this works for dining reservations, but it seems to happen every 15 minutes for those. If you just keep refreshing on the restaurant that you want to book a reservation for but isn't available at the time you want, keep refreshing every 15 minutes on the 15, 30, 45, and hour. Don't buy the anti-upgrade.
Animal Kingdom has always been the park you could finish before lunch if you played it right, but 2026 pushes that even further. When Dinosaur permanently closes on February 2nd, the entire Lightning Lane system at this park collapses into the smallest lineup at Disney World. And I don't mean small like a cute problem. I mean you are paying full price for a multi-pass that covers 4 rides. 4! Here's what's left. Na'vi River Journey, Kilimanjaro Safaris, Expedition Everest, and Kali River Rapids. That's your entire ride pool. Everything else is shows, and none of those need a Lightning Lane unless you want a specific showtime on a holiday week or something like that, or you want the special seating area. And when you look at those 4 rides, the value becomes painfully obvious. Only one of them truly benefits from Lightning Lane, Na'vi River Journey, and that's it. That's the whole reason anyone buys a multi-pass here, and every single family in the park is aiming at the same target. Everest is a walk-on half the time. Kilimanjaro Safaris only spikes during the early morning times and midday. Cali is a ride that you gauge based on the weather. If it's freezing, you don't want to get wet. You don't need lightning lanes for any of them if you time it correctly. So the real strategy at Animal Kingdom in 2026 isn't how do I maximize my lightning lane? It is, should I even buy one? And most days the answer is no. Rope drop. Ride safaris early or late when the animals are actually out and about. Skip Cali altogether on colder days. And if you really want to save yourself a headache, buy one Lightning Lane single pass for Avatar Flight of Passage. Because that's the only skip the line purchase in this entire park that still delivers real value. But here's the part almost nobody realizes. You don't need to treat Animal Kingdom like a full day park at all. Once Dinosaur permanently closes on February 2nd, there just aren't that many rides left. It becomes a true half-day park, but most people are still going to treat it like an all-day park and drag themselves there at sunrise. You don't have to do that. Skip the morning entirely and plan Animal Kingdom for after 1 p.m. If your dates line up with a convention offering partial day Disney tickets, the after 1 option is usually the smartest way to do this park in 2026. A full day ticket price doesn't really make sense for a park with this few rides, and the cheaper after 5 p.m. option doesn't give you enough time here to feel worth it. With the 1 p.m. entry, you've got a solid afternoon and evening to do what matters. Ride Navi River Journey and Flight of Passage, do Kilimanjaro Safaris, hit Expedition Everest, and fill in anything else that feels important to you. If you're planning on going to Animal Kingdom for the second half of your day and intend to be there until the park close, which I think you should in that situation, then don't forget the fact that as long as you are in queue for a ride by the time the park closes, Disney allows you to wait in line for that ride and ride it. This is something that's unique to Disney and something you should definitely take advantage of. But if you're planning on skipping out before the park closes, or you're planning to enjoy Animal Kingdom during the first half of your day, Flight of Passage is the one ride where paying makes sense. It's the longest line, the most reliable crowd magnet, and the only place where a lightning lane skip actually saves you a meaningful chunk of time. Everything else in the park can be beaten with timing and common sense. Animal Kingdom is the only park in 2026 where the lightning lane multipass simply isn't worth the cost. Save your money. Use timing for the 4 rides. Buy a single pass if you want to skip the Flight of Passage wait, and treat Animal Kingdom like the half-day park it becomes the moment Dinosaur shuts its doors forever.
Be the early bird or nothing.
Epcot is normally the park where we tell you to skip Lightning Lane. It's huge, it's spread out, and most of the year the crowds are eating and drinking their way around World Showcase instead of standing in ride lines. But 2026 breaks that rule because 3 major attractions have all resurfaced as top priorities. With Test Track already operating in its new form, Frozen Ever After getting upgraded animatronics, and Remy's Ratatouille switching from 3D to 2D with new effects layered in, all 3 of these rides have turned back into true must-dos for most guests. And that means their lines are going to be long. The kind of long where even people who normally skip lightning lanes at Epcot suddenly realize they need one. Families who usually avoid Test Track now want to see the update. People who used to say Frozen was just okay are curious about the glow-up. And Remy has never had a short line a single day of its life. Now it's got even more attention. So here's the tip. If you were ever going to buy Lightning Lane Multipass for Epcot, 2026 is the year to do it, and you need to book it the moment your window opens. Epcot becomes a real Lightning Lane park next year. The crowd compression from these refreshed attractions means that even if you don't care about seeing everything, you'll still feel the surge if you ignore the lines. This is the one year where Lightning Lane genuinely saves your whole day.
Plan for Disney World's quiet problem.
2025 was the year Disney World quietly turned into a construction zone with a crowd problem. Because every park is shifting at the same time. Big Thunder Mountain, Buzz Lightyear, and Rocket Roller Coaster all went down for major updates by the first half of 2026. Dinosaur disappears forever on February 2nd. And while some of these attractions do come back online faster than people expect, the overlap still hits at exactly the wrong moment, the months where Lightning Lane demand is already at its highest. This is the pressure point, because when a park loses a single major ride, crowds redistribute. When it loses two, they pile up, and when multiple parks drop capacity inside the same booking window, even for a short time, the scramble becomes real. Here's the actual tip. You need to book your Lightning Lane multi-pass the literal second your window opens. If you're staying on site, that's 7 days out at 7 a.m. If you're off-site, that's 3 days out at 7 a.m. And in 2026, those numbers matter more than they ever have before. Because here's what's really happening in each park, based on what Disney officially locked in. Magic Kingdom has already lost both Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Yes, they return in the spring with new tech and upgrades, but for months at a time, the entire burden has shifted onto Space Mountain, Peter Pan's Flight, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and Jungle Cruise. That early year compression is brutal. Hollywood Studios takes Rock and Roller Coaster offline for its full Muppets transformation until summer, which forces Slinky Dog Dash, Runaway Railway, Tower of Terror, and Smuggler's Run New Mission launching in May only spikes demand further. Epcot stabilizes sooner. Frozen Ever After's upgrade hits in February. Remy's is already completed and open. Test Track is the same. You can ride it right now. And Soarin' Across America comes by Memorial Day. But that surge of refreshed headliners now pulls morning Lightning Lane slots straight into the fire. Animal Kingdom becomes the thinnest park in the resort the moment Dinosaur shuts down for good on February 2nd. With only Navi River Journey, Kilimanjaro Safaris, Everest, and Cali River Rapids in the multi-pass pool, those early year crowds hit harder than they have in over a decade. This is the perfect storm compressed, not extended. A high-pressure booking environment stacked into the heart of spring and early summer. And that's exactly why you cannot afford to be late making reservations. Fewer rides, even briefly, equal fewer Lightning Lane slots, and that equals faster sellouts. Faster sellouts equal more competition, and that equals more people turning to single pass backups, which means even those are going to be competitive. In 2026, waiting even 5 minutes after your window opens means losing your tier 1s. An hour? Forget it. They're gone. This isn't a luxury strategy anymore. It's survival. Because in 2026, your Lightning Lane choices aren't, should I buy it or not? Because in 2026, your Lightning Lane choices aren't, should I buy it or not? They're, do I want to book now or do I want to be stuck in every long line caused by these overlapping closures and the high demand for line skipping? This isn't a fear tactic, it's just math. 2026 is the year Disney World gives you a moving target instead of a stable slate. If you don't move fast, if you don't book the second your window opens, your entire day could collapse before you even wake up.
Do not enter.
There's a window in 2026 that looks normal on a calendar, but it is quietly one of the worst operational stretches Disney World has scheduled in years. And unless you've been tracking every single announcement Disney just dropped, you won't realize what you're walking into until you're already here. Because this isn't just one ride down. This isn't a park behind on capacity. This is the first time in a long time that all 4 parks are shifting major attractions at the same time. And even though some reopen sooner than expected, the overlap still hits hard enough to change how your trip feels. Here's what that actually means for you. Magic Kingdom has already lost Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin during the early months of 2026. And yes, Disney confirmed both will come back in the spring with major upgrades, but that doesn't erase the fact that for months now, we've been down 2 major attractions in both Tomorrowland and Frontierland. Animal Kingdom loses Dinosaur permanently on February 2nd. Not a refurb, not a rotation, it's gone. And once that ride is gone to become a new Indiana Jones ride, the entire park shifts onto Pandora and Kilimanjaro Safaris, 2 attractions that were already working at maximum demand. Animal Kingdom becomes the thinnest ride roster at Disney World overnight, and the crowds do not thin with it. Over in Hollywood Studios, they're hit from another direction. Rock and Roller Coaster goes down for its full Muppets transformation until summer, and even though that reopening date is now official, that still leaves months where Slinky Dog Dash, Runaway Railway, Tower of Terror, and Smuggler's Run have to hold the line alone. And the new Mandalorian mission dropping on Smuggler's Run in May only makes waits sharper, not smoother. This park has never handled major closures gracefully, and 2026 doesn't change that. Epcot stabilizes faster, but faster doesn't mean easy. Frozen Ever After's upgraded animatronics debut in February. Remy's is already enhanced and changed to 2D from 3D. Test Track is already back as well, and Soarin' Across America will debut by Memorial Day. 4 different attractions pulling demand at once in a park that already spikes during every festival season. Across all 4 parks, the math is simple. Even with new reopening dates, there is still a stretch in early to mid-2026 where demand outruns capacity. Not forever, not for the whole year, but long enough to matter. And over at Epcot, it's more a matter of interest in these refreshed rides. People have to ride Frozen again. They have to ride Test Track. They have to ride Soarin'. It's not a one and done because nobody's done these new versions yet.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to check in on you. We're giving you a lot of information in this video, and I'm guessing that some of you are just now beginning the very big, long process of planning a Disney trip, and that can be very, very overwhelming. Lots of information coming at you from all different directions about food, hotels, rides, lightning lane, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot. So to help you out, we here at AllEars have made something that I think you will really love, and that is our planning series. We have created a whole entire free for you, easy to digest planning series that you can get just by signing up for our newsletter. We here at AllEars have created a planning crash course to help you plan the perfect Disney trip. All you have to do, it's completely free. Just scan the QR code you see here on the screen or head to AllEars.net/plans to sign up for it. Again, it's completely free. It is a very basic Disney World crash course to help you plan the perfect vacation. So, did I mention it's free? You should definitely check it out. Back to Breed Love. Later.
Plan for where there's hope.
Most of this video has been me telling you when not to go to Disney World in 2026 because honestly, the first half of the year is a mess. The closures overlap, the crowds don't drop, the prices don't soften, and the lightning lane system has never been under more pressure. But here's the part we didn't know until Disney finally put everything in writing recently. The rebound starts earlier than any of us expected. Not in the fall, not in late summer, not even on June 21st, the day everyone assumed was the earliest anything labeled summer 2026 could actually open. The recovery actually begins in February and accelerates all the way into late May, long before the seasonal crowds hit. Here is the tip. If you want the first moment where 2026 stops punishing you, it starts the day Frozen Ever After's upgrade opens in February of 2026. Now, I know I already told you to come later than this or earlier, but this is the first time one of these attractions we expect to be closed and refurbished or turned into something else completely. This is when it opens up. The first domino. It cuts Epcot's congestion, it stabilizes Tier 1 bookings, it resets demand earlier than predicted. Then everything else follows pretty much faster than anyone expected also. We've already got Remy, we've already got Test Track, we will have Soarin', I believe very quickly. I don't think that it will have to be down for very long for us to experience Soarin' Across America by Memorial Day. Smuggler's Run gets that new Mandalorian mission, which drops May 22nd, pulling guests deeper into Hollywood Studios instead of stacking them all at Slinky Dog Dash. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin come back online in early spring, ending the early year strain in Magic Kingdom. Rock and Roller Coaster reopens in summer, finally relieving the pressure that studios has been holding alone for months. This is why 2026 looks different than it did even a month ago. The calendar isn't a straight downhill into July anymore, it's kind of a curve. A rough start that begins easing much sooner than we predicted. So the real strategy isn't avoid everything until late June. It is, if you want the earliest point where Disney World starts feeling worth the price again, where you start to have some new experiences that are cutting edge, state of the art, and feel fresh and exciting again, aim for late May through summer, with February and April now offering far more stability and some of those experiences than any early year forecast predicted. Not because Lightning Lane suddenly gets easier, because it doesn't, but because for the first time all year, the ride roster begins expanding instead of shrinking, and we start getting to experience some of these announcements. They're not on paper anymore. They're exciting new rides and attractions we get to experience. And once you hit the true summer window, June 21st through August 31st, everything finally stacks in your favor. Free water park day for every Disney resort guest. Epcot food and wine. Mickey's not-so-scary Halloween party creeping into August as usual. Longer operating hours. More showtimes for nighttime entertainment. Full attraction slate online or coming online soon. No more stacking closures across multiple parks. Yes, the weather is brutal. Yes, it rains every afternoon. Yes, it's hurricane season. But if you use this video right here, this strategy video where we help you figure out what to purchase before you come, everything from ponchos to neck fans to waist fans, which I still stand by, summer becomes not just survivable, but legitimately strategic. Here's the truth. 2026 stops feeling like full price for a half lineup the moment Disney's spring reopenings start hitting. And the year becomes genuinely worthwhile from late May through the end of August. If you're looking for hope, it's not hidden, it's right on the calendar.
If you made it to the end, go ahead and drop this password in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when myself or one of my friends comes out with a brand new video, something we do all week. Why? Because we're serious about fun. Thank you. Bye.